Ronan Farrow, who wrote the New Yorker story along with Jane Mayer, joins us now. Ronan, thanks for joining us this morning. I want to start out by putting Brett Kavanaugh's denial back up on the screen right now. The alleged event from 35 years ago did not happen. The people who knew me then said that this did not happen and have said so. This is a smear, plain and simple. That denial is blunt. It is unequivocal. Your response?
And obviously we include that in the New Yorker piece and gave him a very full and fair window for comment, and we include rebuttals and pushback at every point. Those rebuttals are significant. The White House has a huge megaphone on this. There is a coalition of former Yale students working with Brett Kavanaugh's office. A number of them who signed on to a statement in this article pushing back against Ms. Ramirez's claim are individuals she alleged to be participants in this attack on her, which Brett Kavanaugh's office seemed surprised by. And we then redacted the names of those individuals at their request because they were alleged to be involved. The point I want to make here is this. It is not accurate to say that those who knew him at the time dispute this. We talked to a roommate from the time that was living with him when this alleged incident took place, who said he was indeed frequently drunk, that he took part in activity that made him unsurprised by this claim, and that he found this woman credible. He's one of several people in this story who back Ms. Ramirez, and we wouldn't have run this if we didn't have a careful basis of people who had heard at the time and found her credible.
But by your own admission, no eyewitnesses to the incident?
Absolutely, and we disclosed that up front, and we also disclosed that she was inebriated at the time. And I think the fact that she took several days to consider and really carefully make sure that she had an evidentiary basis for this and other people were backing her account who had heard at the time and been told, speaks well of her level of caution.
Yeah, but
this is not the behavior of someone who is fabricating something.
Let me press you on that, though, because that sentence really did jump out at me when I read the article. She says that at first she wasn't sure this was Kavanaugh when you first came to her last week, and then you write, after 6 days of carefully assessing her memories and consulting with her attorney, she did become confident that it was him. You know, a lot of people.
And George, I would say that that's extremely typical of these stories. When you're dealing with trauma, alcohol, many years in between, I think that the more cautious witnesses that I've dealt with in cases like this very frequently say, I want to take time to decide, I want to talk to other people involved, I want to search myself and make sure that I can affirmatively stand by these claims in the face of what she knew would be a crucible of partisan pushback, which is what she's receiving now.
Why did she come forward?
She came forward because Senate Democrats began looking at this claim. She did not flag this for those Democrats. This came to the attention of people on the Hill independently, and it's really cornered her into an awkward position. That's why she took time to think about this carefully. You know, she said point blank, I don't want to ruin anyone's life, but she feels this is a serious claim. You know, she considers her own memories credible, and she felt it was important that she tell her story before others did without her consent, because so many people on the Hill were looking at this.
You pointed out the witnesses, the students at the time who back up her story, who back up their claims about Kavanaugh's behavior at the time. Several others in the article say that they never heard anything like this at all, even someone who professed to be her best friend at the time. At any moment as you were writing the story this close to the nomination, did you sort of want to push the pause button and say, are we sure this is the right thing to do?
George, I just want to stress very clearly, we take reporting of this type extremely seriously. The evidentiary basis for this, the number of witnesses who were told at the time, is strong. It's in excess of what we typically see in this kind of investigative reporting. The deal with sexual assault claims is very often that there aren't multiple people willing to say they witnessed it in the room. And the individuals who were most primary to this are people she alleged were egging Brett Kavanaugh on. And those are the ones who signed that statement that you talked about. Yeah,
as you know, Republicans are saying this is another Democratic hit job because it started out with Senate Democratic staffers. You write that the Republican staffers learned of this allegation last week. Last night, I spoke with a Senate GOP leadership aide quite late last night who said no one here or at the committee was told by the Senate Democrats about their ongoing efforts on this allegation. Are you confident the Republicans were told?
He may be accurate in that phrasing, that they weren't told about the ongoing activities as, you know, moment to moment were happening in the Democratic side. They were indeed aware of an allegation and were concerned about it and reached out to us about that.
And you also write that some senators, upon learning that, wanted to rush the hearing?
We don't draw a causal link. You know, we're not inside those conversations in the Republican senators' offices. All we say is that we heard that concern, and then shortly after there was an effort to accelerate this process.
What does Deborah Ramirez want to happen next?
Deborah Ramirez and her attorney, who's a former DA who says she is as credible as any witness he's dealt with in 26 years of legal practice, want an FBI investigation You know, she wants this to proceed carefully. That's why she took a lot of time to come forward and do so carefully. She'd like that caution to continue. She wants to be fair to Brett Kavanaugh. In many statements, she said that to me.
Ronan Farrow, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.